My name is DJ, and oh my goodness, I just vended for the second time ever for Pokemon. So good. I freaking love vending. Full disclosure, guys, no, I'm not going to become a full-time vendor or anything. I'm still going to be selling sealed product on my website, djspokecenter.com. But I went into this show with really no expectations. You know, I don't know much about this show. It's called 3 Point RVA, or at least that's the name of the store. It's in a mall in Richmond. So incredible, dude. The way this was ran, I'm going to say it. As someone who's been to Collecticon before, I preferred this over Collecticon. I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna say it, dude. Now, I haven't vended there, but hey, come on, man. I could watch a lot of vendor POVs, and I've been there a couple times now, and I have to say, this was so much better for me. I'm not saying it's better for you, but it was way better for me. I loved everything about this. So it's all on the second floor. I know it was supposed to be on the first and then the second floor, but for whatever reason, the mall didn't want people on the first floor. So basically, if you could imagine a couple hundred, I don't know, maybe 250, 300 vendors on the second floor of a big ass mall. Super incredible, dude. One side of the mall had like a DJ and music, and it was like a party. They had like a SpongeBob freaking bus, and then on my side was very, very quiet and calm, and there was like sports mixed in, and there was all other stuff going on, and it was pretty good. So shout out to Chess for running the event. I'm not sure if anybody else will run the event officially. I just formally know Chess because I met him a couple times, and he said, hey man, you should try vending over here. And like I said, I didn't think anything of it. You know, I'm thinking, it's gonna be a small local show. No, my friends, there gotta have been a couple thousand people there. It was incredible, and the cost for the table was really good as well. But what was my goal? Was it to sell a bunch of cards? Yes, that was half of it, was to sell my personal collection, which by the way, we still have plenty of. But more importantly to me was to get as much sealed product for the store as I possibly could, because I'm trying to buy bulk deals. I'm trying to even get one product for a good price, 10 products, $100,000 worth, whatever. I need it for my store. I will say we overall failed on that mission. I did pick up an Evolving Skies Umbreon ETB, which is awesome. There was another vendor, and he's like, dude, I need cash now. I got to buy this other deal. Will you take this for 80? I said, dude, I want to be at 75. He said, come on, bro, help me out. So I did help him out, and I got it for 80%. But hey, it is the rare one for Evolving Skies. And at the end of the day, I mean, I think, hey, that's a pretty awesome thing to get. We did also get the Team Rocket's Moltres box, which for 80% is pretty good. I can't complain on that. And then we also did pick up an SPC for $200, which I think was 80% as well. And I sold that for $240 at the show. I also did buy a couple other things like the Prismatic promo one, the newer one with like a little toy figurine, and I bought that for like 110 and sold it at the show for 125. So nothing crazy. So I didn't really have a lot of good opportunities to buy Pokemon sealed, unfortunately. I think it's because the placement of my table was really bad. So basically, you come in one of the entrances. I don't know if I had the main entrance or the side entrance. You would think it's a really good spot, but the problem is when people come in, I'm on the opposite side of where they come in, so they don't even look in my direction. They immediately go right because that's where all the tables are. And honestly, by the time they even get to me, they've already gone through the entire show. So really, they've already sold out. I had so many people saying, oh, dude, DJ, like a lot of people recognize us from YouTube, which was super cool, dude. Probably 20 to 30 people were like, oh my God, DJ Poke Center. And we took pictures, shook hands. It was really cool. It's really awesome meeting all of you. So if you met me, put in hashtag 22 right now. But unfortunately, really, the first couple tables were buying. And so people would bring in awesome stuff. I mean, I saw a guy that watches our channel. I don't know if he wants to be named. He got the 151 bundle sealed, and I was like, yeah, he showed it to me, man. He got it for a really good deal. And so many vendors were getting great deals before me. So by the time people got to me, they had already sold it all. So I was like, dang, man. And so, yeah, a lot of people were like, whoa, I didn't even know this existed. I went for Saturday and Sunday, and people didn't see me till like Sunday. And they're like, what? I didn't even know there was a show on this side. Because again, they come in on the other side of one of the entrances, or they come up the stairs from like the ground floor or whatever. And I'm like one of the last people they see, if they even see me. So this is where I'm like, I mean, the position you would think is really good, but honestly, the table's position where I was just wasn't really where I would want to be in the future. And so I did get invited to 703, which I did do the other 703 show in Nova, and this one's going to be at Norfolk. Unfortunately, that's the exact same day as 3 Point is doing another show. So now I'm like, dang, I didn't even know you guys were doing another show. So I'm not sure which one I'm going to go to. I've already been invited to one, and that might be a better table position for me. I would love to come back to 3 Point because it is a lot closer to me being in Richmond, Virginia. But at the same time, like I said, if I'm going to be like in a corner somewhere, it might be a little harder for people to find me, and then I might not be able to achieve my goal, which is simply buying product and selling some of my personal collection. Now, as far as selling my personal collection, this was phenomenal. I did great. I mean, everybody was asking for Black Bolt and White Flare. I would argue probably 30 to 40% of people asked me about Black Bolt, White Flare. just like at the last show, which was literally hours away from this show. And it's basically what, 2 months apart from one another, a month and a half from one another. And like I said, 30 to 40% of people were saying, do you have Black Bolt? Do you have White Flare? And I said, yes, I do. I have a master set of both, or I did have a master set. What's crazy is I've opened up so much Black Bolt that I basically completed 2 master sets for it, including Pokeballs and, all the hollows, all the master balls, everything. And then for White Flare, I almost completed it, but I didn't fully complete that one. So basically, if you wanted something from Black Bolt, White Flare, I had you. I was your guy. If you wanted sealed product, I had it. The first day, I didn't bring any sealed for Black Bolt and White Flare. The second day, I sold probably 6 of the White Flares that I brought, and I sold all of those. What else was really good, as I knew it would be, was Mega Dream. Oh my goodness, man. Mega Dream sold so well because people can't get Ascended Heroes. I've been trying to preach this to so many people, and I know a lot of people still haven't tried it. You're not getting Ascended Heroes, guys, and if you do, it's gonna be like $40, $45 for 3 packs. Why not pick up Mega Dream? I just got a restock of this, thank God, because I sold everything this weekend. So finally, it was like the perfect timing that I got a new restock of Mega Dream. It's such a better experience compared to opening English when you're not gonna get anything. We're talking like prismatic levels of rarity, guys. That's what people are reporting right now. So like opening Mega Dream is so much better than Ascended Heroes at the moment, at least. So the things that sold really well for us were ranging from $1 to $10. I cannot tell you how much money I must have made from that. In total, I profited about $4,000. And can you really say that's profit? It's hard to say because it's my own personal collection, which I've opened up all this stuff on my own. Touche, but I came back home with about $4,000. So I would definitely say I did not have enough. I mean, I had a lot, but I didn't have enough of $1, $2, $3, $5 cards. I'm telling you, bro, that's what it was. That's what people really wanted at the show. Of course, there's the big baller that walks by and says, you got anything Sword and Shield? You got anything X and Y? Or you got anything Sun and Moon? Every now and then people would ask for stuff like that. But no, man, it was a lot of collectors, which was great to see because you guys know I'm a huge collector myself. Yes, I have a store, but I love to open Pokemon. I love to look at the cards. I love to talk about the cards. And it was really, really busy on Saturday. So again, shout out to everybody who made this happen because it was such a great show, man. It was so well organized. I mean, I had no confusion where to go. The entire venue was cool. The vibe was cool. It was such a great show. And I was thinking like, wow, this is such a better experience than Collecticon. As someone who went multiple times to Collecticon, Collecticon's vibe's okay. It's okay, but this was fun. This was cool. And that was just me walking around to the bathroom and everybody's smiling. And there's, again, tons and tons of people, but it's organized well. The mall shapes really nicely. Of course, it's going to be crowded when you get to certain parts, but it's very open in a sense. And just everybody smiling, having a good time. I felt like I was at a sober party. Such a great experience. So some of the things that didn't sell really surprised me, actually. 151 bundles. I didn't sell one, which is really interesting because when I put these on my store for $110, they sell it like this. You know what I mean? Gone. Just, I don't even have to think about it. As soon as I list it, I might as well start packing it because somebody's going to buy all of them. It was just one person. But at the show, nobody really wanted them. I had like maybe 3 people ask me, but kind of their reaction was like, wow, that's overpriced. And I feel you on that, but you must not know what market is. And so there were a lot of people that would ask about certain things that, I was like, wow, okay, maybe they're going to buy it. I'm well under market. And there's really no interest on it, but I thought that was more of like the Pokemon centers. And I talked to some other vendors on my side of the room. Again, I can't really speak on like the really heavily populated area. I can only speak for like where we were next to like a tobacco store. It's kind of hard to know what every vendor thought, but the people near me said, wow, nobody's really interested in the high dollar stuff, the high dollar cards. I mean, almost no slabs sold. I did sell probably like 4 slabs, but they weren't like really anything too crazy. Honestly, I think most of my slabs, but not all, were to like other vendors that were just walking by, like Whatnot streamers, like, yo, 85% for that? And I'm like, honestly, this thing, I don't need this thing, man. This thing's been sitting in my collection for years. I don't care. Like an old Clefairy graded, I didn't care about that, man. Something super old, and like other little random things that are like PSA 8 or 9, which I know aren't going to sell anyways at these kind of shows. I said, sure, little things like that. And there was one really nice family that bought a couple PSA 10s from us, and I thought they were so cool, man. I gave them a little bit of a discount because they spent like a lot of money, and they're collectors, they're master setting, and I appreciate that. I love knowing that my master set is going to someone who is also completing their master set, and I thought that was just so cool, man. So many people were like, wow, you're the only person who has this card. And I always hear that when I vend because, again, I collect, man. I really like master set stuff, and I try to get everything you can get. When you come to my table and you're like, do you got number 117 for the master ball? I'm like, yup, sure do. And they're like, dude, where were you? Because again, they kind of come to me last or at the end of the show, and nobody nobody else really has that kind of stuff. I think it's a lot of really top dollar stuff, you know what I mean? So it's nice that I have the $1 to $5 to $10 range because a lot of people weren't offering that kind of stuff. All right, so the first day I did not bring Destin Rivals, and it's crazy because I think Destin Rivals before the show started was about $450. I got to the show, the guy next to me, he was super cool. He had one Destin Rivals booster box, and I said, bro, how much do you want for that? He said $550. I said, $550? I said, bro, this thing's $450. He goes, dude, you didn't see? That was yesterday's price. He's like, today, bro, we're talking like $530. So I think this was Saturday, and I was like, $530. So I checked my phone. I was like, bro, it is $530. And then towards the end of the show, bro, it was like $560, $570. And so he put it for $600. He's like, bro, I don't want to sell this. Like, you're going to have to overpay if you want Destin Rivals. And I can say at the show that I was at, people had all their Destin Rivals for like $550 to $600. Every single one of them sold on Saturday. Every single one of them was gone. One guy brought like 7 that was across from me. All of them gone. Like literally people were paying full market or over market for Destin Rivals. And I'm telling you, the demand for Destin Rivals. So when people like lowball you on Destin Rivals, bro, do not take it, because I'm telling you, for every person that's lowballing you, there's probably 5 to 10 people willing to pay full market or even higher. Some people are paying 110%, 120% for Destin Rivals. So anyway, Saturday night comes around and Destin Rivals hit $600. And I was like, oh man, I'm really looking at my Destin Rivals right here. I'm like, should I bring one of these? I said, you know what? I'm gonna bring one. And if somebody is willing to like overpay, or like we're talking $600, $580 range, I might just sell one. So I did bring one with me to the show. And oh my God, the offers were pretty good. They were fair. I'm not gonna say anybody lowballed me. The lowest offer I got was $480. And after that, it was like $500, $520. The vendor across from me was like, bro, can I buy that for $540? And I said, that's a really fair offer, bro, but market's $600. And again, I don't want to sell it. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to sell it. So the only way you could tempt me, because I know this is going to $700 pretty soon, guys, unless we get some crazy reprint, this sucker's going probably end of year, $800, $900. I wouldn't be surprised if it hit $1,000 end of year if we don't get a big reprint for Destin. So I'm not desperate to sell it, bro. I don't mind hanging on to that sucker, because you know, you're never going to get another one of these probably for this price. So yeah, nobody really like overpaid. Again, really fair offers. In a normal situation for like Prismatic or something, I probably would have sold it, but not for Destin Rivals at the moment anyways. We got another show coming up in probably like 3 weeks, I think it is. So again, I can't speak for other vendors, but in my experience, anything under $100 sold extremely well for sealed product. The only thing that didn't sell well was Phantasmal Flames. I didn't really see people buying Phantasmal Flames at all, which very surprising. I had it for $75. I mean, I paid 70, right? Like nobody even offered me 70. Honestly, if somebody would offer me 70 for it, I probably would have just sold 1 or 2 of them. I brought like 4 the first day, and the second day I brought like 1 because nobody really wanted it. But oh my goodness, anything Black Bolt, White Flare. I think I brought 6 Black Bolt, instantly gone, probably within an hour. Second day on Sunday, I think I brought 8 and I sold, yeah, all of those as well. So I'm telling you guys, the demand for Black Bolt and White Flare on the internet, people will tell you this is not a good set, it's not a popular set, but every single time I go to these shows, man, that's what the collectors want. That's what the real collectors want, because they want to open up cards and see gorgeous art, see a nice illustration rare, and that is what Black Bolt and White Flare offers you compared to other sets where you're probably just going to try to get the SIR and that's it. And yeah, sure, you'll get some IRs, but there's only like 15 of them, 10 of them, 20 of them, not with Black Bolt and White Flare. So I'm telling you guys, you better get you some Black Bolt, White Flare if you're going to be vending. So all in all, I would honestly say the 3-point RVA card show definitely is like a 10 out of 10. It's so good. It's free admission for people, by the way, and you're already inside a mall. So like a lot of people are like, whoa, I just went to the mall today and we were going to go to Surge, which is like the name of like this trampoline place. And then holy shit, there's like this huge Pokemon convention thing, whatever you want to call it. Like it was so good. It was so interesting. The only con, like I said, was really my location. Yeah, super amazing. Besides that, man, again, I cannot complain. This was by far the best show I've probably been to in like the last year. And that's including the summertime. That's including Comic-Cons. That's including Collecticons, everything in between. So good. The energy, the vibes. Everybody's like, yo, what's up, dude? You know, vendors are cool. Everybody's respectful. So freaking incredible, guys. You got to go to the next one. Like I said, I'm not sure if I'll be able to make it because I've already been invited to 703. So yeah, I'm not sure. It'd really have to be in a point where like people would come to me to sell before they come to other people. So I'm not sure. You'll probably see me at another one one. I just don't know if it'd be this next one in February. If you made it to the end of the video, go ahead and put in hashtag 3 point, like, you know, like 3 point, just like it sounds. Because again, they just made such a good show. It was so fun, man. So I'll catch you guys on the next one. We'll have the vendor POV video probably out like, I don't know, Thursday or Friday. It's a lot of work, man. It's a lot of editing and stuff. And I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.